Next up, the sun acted like a crazed parasite, snatching away his life, and he still wondered, what in the world, just where on earth is he? He curiously inching towards the light, the sun started its embrace again. So, the interstellar traveler claimed he was the sun god, using this young guy's body like a parasite to rule. Years later, he used the interstellar gate to take thousands of humans on a mining adventure. These oars were the basis of his eternal life technology. Come see how he magically obtained the hex stick. But then, chaos erupted on Earth. A human strike led to the interstellar gate being buried. Sun God had to make writing in pictures taboo. It dawned on everyone that these natives were humans too, with bloodlines even purer than theirs. A soldier made a shocking discovery. He found the runestone of the interstellar gate to talk about a treasure map. As everyone was immersed in the joyful chatting atmosphere of the tribe, unexpectedly, a monster launched an attack on the camp. It seems plausible to speculate that perhaps hidden beneath that armor lies a big toy for humanity. Who would have guessed that the sun god looked like a young heartthrob? Poor followers, they were all just humans inside and out. Dai Oshuai's team realized they couldn't reach their base, so they hurriedly said goodbye to the tribe and dashed back to host a party. Back at the pyramid, everyone was dumbfounded. Ozai had completely sealed it up. At this point, the ground was littered with bullet casings. Clearly, there had been a wild party here not long ago. A shadow of a monster appeared, and the soldier mustered his courage to whip out all kinds of firepower, ready for battle. These foes were unbeatable, wielding weapons that made their toys look like pop guns. In just a few rounds, soldiers were falling like flies, leaving only the colonel and one other person calling for help. Suddenly, the massive steel door slowly opened, and a bunch of reinforcements rapidly came plummeting down from above. When he saw those glowing red eyes staring his way, Zai Shuai nearly turned into a statue out of fear. They were invited into the pyramid, where there were no torches, but the atmosphere felt very serious. At that moment, the enemy pressed a button on his arm, and the huge armor began to split, flooding the room with dazzling sunlight. The castle gate swung open, and all the VIP came down the stairs and sat directly on the throne. What brings you here? Meanwhile, two aides brought out a strange machine, leaving the colonel stunned. Because that was the secret weapon he brought from Earth, so mysterious and amazing. Who could have thought the sun god's true identity was basically a little boy? What an unexpected twist. The colonel suddenly struck back, sending a flying kiss to the nearby enemy, snagging their weapon. But poor Zai Shuai got hit innocently and had to just play dead. Meanwhile, all the comrades surrounded the sun god, making it tough for the usually ruthless colonel to take action. Just then, the enemy ambushed him, pinning the colonel to the ground. Yikes, things got urgent. Fighter jets took off from the pyramid, headed straight for the human tribe. This was getting out of hand. All humans could do was flail about like headless chickens, and the brutal war began. But the enemy refrained from delivering lethal blows. They still needed to utilize these laborers for their tasks. When the colonel was thrown into a water tower, he discovered his missing teammates were trapped there too. However, Zai Shuai wasn't as fortunate. His waist had been pierced, and due to the severe injury, he was completely out of the game. At that moment, the sun god noticed the pendant around his neck, and to his astonishment, he realized he had been revived. He was surprised to discover that he was actually lying atop a coffin. The experience felt quite a bit surreal to him at the moment. Meanwhile, Zai Shuai inadvertently noticed the bomb on the table, realizing that the sun god intended to mete out punishment upon humanity. The sun god intended to reassemble the bomb, aiming to enhance its power twofold for an unprecedented super surprise for Earth. But first, he needed Zio Shioi to demonstrate his authority. He needed to kill his comrades as proof. If Zio Shioi hesitated, all humanity would be in serious trouble. In fact, an uprising directed against the sun god had already commenced quietly and discreetly. The next day, the sun god gathered all his subjects for an open trial of the Earth's outsiders. Zio Shioi slowly takes the gun, walks toward his old comrades. Fear not, he's a secret agent. At this moment, he saw a spirited young man signaling him with a mirror, raising the hidden gun from his chest. Smart Zio Shioi turned around and caught the enemy completely off guard. With an increasing number of rebels joining in, the battle was on the verge of exploding. When Zio Shioi perfected the design, he was thrilled to find it was the 7th coordinate of the interstellar, but the colonel wasn't so cheerful. He knew the danger still loomed. The bomb that could annihilate Earth was still in the sun god's hands. They had no other choice. The next day, everyone disguised themselves, getting ready to deliver gifts to the sun god. A nightmare of a day ahead. Be sure to subscribe to see all the upcoming excitement.